You're not broken, you're just in transition. Right now, it may feel like your world has fallen apart. Like everything you imagined with that person has crumbled. You question your worth, your choices, and sometimes even your future. But what if this isn't the end? What if this is the beginning of the most powerful version of you? Because the truth is, some of the most incredible transforms begin in the wreckage of heartbreak. Let's not just survive this. Let's use it to rise. Stop running from the pain. Stop pretending you're fine. Healing begins when you give yourself to permission to leave without guilt. It's okay to miss them, cry over them, or feel lost without them, but it's not okay to stay stuck there. The first step in stemming us for a breakup is allowing yourself to feel everything deeply. Don't suppress it. Don't rush it, and don't judge yourself for it. The sadness, confusion, anger, these are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you loved. Let the emotions pass through you, but don't let them define you. We often create an illusion around the person we lost, often expats tat. We label them as other way and convince ourselves we've lost something irreplaceable. It's tat, but transformation begins when you break illusion and see them as a whole person, flaws, mistakes, and all. When you stop idealizing what was, you reclaim your perspective. Along with that, reclaim your time and attention. Your energy is precious, and it's time to redirect it back to you. Each time you find yourself stuck in memories or social media stalking, experts tat, gently remind yourself that your future deserves more than your past. This is your opportunity to rewrite your story. Often expects tat. A breakup isn't the end, it's a redirection. Reconnect with the dreams, passions, and routines that were once yours alone. Maybe you gave up hobbies, your goals, all muted parts of yourself in the relationship. Now is the time to pour yourself back in those pieces. Change your surroundings, even just a little. Your space, your habits, your environment all affect your healing. And while you're at it, surround yourself with people who breathe life into you. Get around energy that challenges you to laugh again, grow again, and dream again. As you regaled, you press emotional discipline. Missing someone doesn't mean you should return to them. Choose long-term healing over short-term comfort. Set higher standards for your next chapter. What do you truly want in a relationship? What won't you compromise again? This is your moment to become the version of yourself that doesn't settle. Build a life so full and exciting that love becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Expats tat. Because true transformation after a break-up is just about moving on from someone, it's about coming home to yourself in a way you never have been. Tat. We often cling to the idea that we've lost the why after a breakup, and that belief can be deeply painful. The truth is you didn't lose soulmates, you lost a person. A real human being with flaws, insecurities, habits, and shortcomings. It's easy to romanticize someone after they are gone, especially when your mind chooses to focus only on the sweet moments, the laughter, and the plans you made together. But transformation begins when you challenge the idealized version of them and start seeing things as they truly were, not just how you wish they would be. Sometimes we overlook the red flags and the ways we had to shrink ourselves just to keep the peace or feel loved. We ignore the compromises we made, the moments we felt unappreciated, or the emotional needs that went unmet. When you step back and look at the full picture, not just the highlight reel, it becomes clear that what you lost may not be as perfect as you imagined. That clarity doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you something powerful: perspective. Perspective allows you to recognize the love just about memories and emotions. It's about consistency, safety, and alignment. When you remove the illusion, you can better understand what you truly need in a relationship. Maybe that this person wasn't meant to stay, but they came to teach you something valuable about what you deserve, what you don't want to repeat, and how to show up for yourself in the future. Often expats tat. This shift in mindset isn't about bitterness or pretending they didn't matter. It's about being honest with yourself. Often expats tat. You're not here to chase a fantasy, you're here to build something real. And begins with breaking the illusion that they were the only person who could ever make you happy. Once you do that, you create space for someone better aligned with your truth in, and more importantly, you begin to fall back in love with your own life. After a breakup, your mind tends to want back to the person you lost. You may find yourself checking their social media, rereading old messages, or replaying conversations, searching for signs, meaning, or closure. These habits might feel harmless in the moment, but they slowly drain your energy and keep you emotionally touched to someone who's no longer a part of your life. Reclaiming your time and attention is not just a suggestion, it's a necessary act of self-preservation. Every time you choose to look backward, you delay your chance to move forward. This doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings or pretend you're not hurting. It means you start making conscious decisions of where your energy goes. Attention is like currency, and right now, you need to invest in yourself. Ask yourself what you gain checking their profile or waiting for a message that may never come. That time, that mental space, that then emotional bandwidth you could be using it to rebuild your life piece by piece. Starting with the parts of yourself you've ignored. It's not easy to stop habits that once felt comforting, even if they're now painful. But healing isn't passive. It requires discipline, time. Each you resist the urge to revisit the past, you're choosing growth. Replace those moments with the things that served something empowering. Call a friend who lifts you up. Work on a goal that excites you. Slowly, your attention will shift from what you've lost to what you're gaining: strength, clarity, and self-respect. You're not expected to be perfect in this process. You'll slip, and that's okay. What matters is that you notice when you're feeding the past and gently guide yourself back to the present. Over time, those choices will become habits, and those habits will become your new foundation. This is how transformation begins, not through dramatic, overnight change, but through small daily acts of choosing yourself over and over again. A breakup can often leave you questioning your worth, wondering if you were not enough, or if you did something wrong. These thoughts can be overwhelming, but they are not the truth. Often expats tat. The end of a relationship doesn't mean you're unlovable or broken. Simply means that one chapter of your life has come to a close. Just like in any good story, not every character is meant to stay until the end. Some people enter your life to teach you lessons, to help you grow, and when their part is over, it's time for them to exit so you can evolve into someone stronger. Now is your moment to take control of the narrative. You no longer have to define yourself by what went wrong, who walked away. You have the power to decide how this chapter changed you. Will it harden you or strengthen you? Will it hold you back or push you forward? This is your opportunity to become the main character in your own lone life again. Stop waiting for someone to choose you, and instead, start choosing you every single day. Rewriting your story doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means learning from it and letting it shape your values and vision. It's about being honest about what you want moving forward. Maybe in the past, you lost pieces of yourself to make someone else happy. Now is the time to reclaim those pieces. Think about the version of yourself you've always wanted to become: the confident, calm, happy, oxpets, purpose-driven person who feels at peace even when alone. That version of you is not just possible, it's already within reach. This you chapter doesn't need anyone else's permission. You don't to wait for closure, an apology, will oftbetstats, or someone's approval to begin again. You just have to make the decision to move, even if it's slowly. Start building a life that makes you excited to wake up in the morning. Your future is unwritten, and your heart is not a story of loss, it's a story of resilience. You get to be the author now, and this next chapter can be the most powerful yet. After a breakup, it's easy to feel stuck in the same patterns, surrounded by constant reminders of what used to be. The places you used to go together, the songs that once played in the background, your happiest moments. Even the layout of your room can back waves of emotion. These emotional triggers keep you tied to the past, making it harder to move on. That's why changing your environment is such an important part of healing. It signals your brain that a shift is happening, that life is moving forward, and that something new is on the horizon. Start with your physical space. Rearranging your room, adding new decor, art, or even just getting rid of things that remind you of your ex can bring a surprising sense of renewal. It's not about erasing memories, but about reclaiming the space for yourself. Give your environment a fresh energy that reflects who you are now and who you want to become. Something as simple as changing your bed sheets or putting up new artwork can have a powerful psychological effect and create space for new emotions and routines to take root. Next, think about your daily habits and routines. If you used to spend your evenings texting that person or watching shows together, often expects that. Replace that time with something intentional like journaling, exercising, cooking, or learning something new. Break the rhythm of your old life and create a new one, step by step. This helps your mind detach from the emotional loops that form after a breakup and gives you a sense of control during a timing when you may feel lost. Even your digital environment plays a role. Curate your playlists and unfollow triggering accounts. and start listening to music or podcasts that lift you up instead of dragging you down. What you consume has a direct impact on how you feel, so choose things that help you grow, not stay stuck. Every small change you made in your surroundings, routines, or mindset adds up together. They form the foundation of a new chapter, one that isn't tied to the past but rooted in your healing, your growth, and your future. One of the most overlooked parts of healing after a breakup is reconnecting with the things you once loved. During a relationship, it's common to shift your focus toward your partner's needs, preferences, and routines, sometimes at the expense of your own passions. Maybe you used to love painting, writing, hiking, or learning new skills. But you let those things fade into the background. Now is the time to return to those pieces of yourself. They never lost, just waiting for you come back to them. When you begin to pour energy into your passions again, something shifts inside you. You stop waiting for someone else to validate your worth because you're too busy creating, building, exploring, and enjoying things that light you up from within. These passions don't just fill your time, they rebuild your identity. They remind you that there are parts of your life that are entirely your own, untouched by anyone else's presence or approval. The more you invest in them, the stronger and more whole you begin to feel. Don't worry if you don't feel motivated at first, often expects Tat. Passion doesn't always come rushing back like a flood, it often returns quietly, step by step. Maybe it means picking up a book again, signing up for a class, going to the gym, or taking that short trip you always dream about. These actions, however small, are powerful. They send a message to yourself that your happiness is in your hands, that your life still has excitement, color, and meaning without anyone else writing the story for you. As you reconnect with what brings you joy, you'll notice that your focus starts to shift. The pain doesn't vanish overnight, but it no longer consumes you. Extat. There's something else to look forward to, something that belongs to you alone. Passions have the ability to heal in quiet, steady ways. They rebuild the bridge between who you were before the relationship and who you're becoming now. And in that space, you'll find freedom, not just from the breakup, but from the need to look outside your self-fulfillment. After breakup, it's natural to want to isolate yourself, often expats Tat. You may feel like no one understands what you're going through, or that being alone is the safest way to protect your heart. But while solitude can be useful for reflection, staying in too long can deepen your pain and slow down your healing. What you really need is a shift in energy, a new environment filled with people who bring you back to life. You don't have to explain every detail of your heartbreak to be understood. Sometimes simply being around fresh, positive energy can remind you that joy still exists. Seek out people who make you laugh, who challenge your thinking, and who inspire you to grow. These are the people who won't let you dwell in sadness forever. They may not always say what you want to hear, but they'll remind you of who you are beyond the pain. Will oft expects Tat. The right company doesn't just listen, they uplift. They don't just sympathize, they energize. Whether it's a friend who encourages you to try something new, a relative who reminds you of your strengths, or even a group activity where you meet new faces. Every positive interaction adds to your healing. Energy is contagious. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity or people who encourage you to stay stuck in the past, it becomes harder to move forward. On the other hand, being around driven, happy, expectant, supportive individuals begin to shift your own mindset. You'll start to notice your thoughts becoming lighter, your perspective expanding, and your heart opening to new possibilities. Apologies will often expectat. These aren't just feel-good moments, they are part of the transformation process. Don't be afraid to let go of connections that no longer serve you, even if they've been a part of your life for a long time. Apologies will often expectat. Healing after a breakup isn't just about recovering from one person, it's about reassessing all the energy in your life. Choose to build a circle that reflects where you want to go, not where you've been. With the right people around you, will often expectat. Your healing won't feel like a lonely journey, it will feel like a new adventure waiting to unfold. One of the most important lessons after a breakup is learning to separate your emotions from your decisions, often expectat. When you miss someone, your mind can trick you into believing that going back is the only way to feel whole again. Vilot. But just because you feel something deeply doesn't mean it's right to act on it. Feelings are powerful, but they aren't always reliable guides. In moments of loneliness or sadness, it's easy to romanticize the past and forget the reasons why things ended in the first place. Emotional discipline means recognizing those moments and making choices based on what is best for you in the long run. It's about pausing before you reach out, questioning your motives when you want to reconnect, and reminding yourself that comfort does not always equal growth. Going back might temporarily soothe the ache, but it often opens wounds you've been working hard to heal. Apolophil often expectat. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is sit with the discomfort and let it pass without giving into it. This kind of discipline doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a deep understanding of your own patterns. You might have days when the urge to call or text feels unbearable. Apologies will often expectat. You might have nights when you question everything and what to believe that things could work out this time. But in those moments, ask yourself, am I reaching out because I miss them or because I'm afraid of being alone? Often expectat. Am I choosing what feels good right now or will bring me peace later? The more you exercise emotional discipline, the more powerful you become. You begin to trust yourself more, rely less on temporary relief, and build emotional strength that lasts. Will often expectat. It's not about becoming cold, emotion is about protecting your progress and valuing your healing. In the end, choosing what's right for you, even when it's hard, is an act of self-love. And that kind of love is the foundation for everything else going forward. After a breakup, it becomes clearer what you were settling for, what you ignored, and what you compromised that didn't sit right with you deep down. This is a powerful time to reflect on those things, not to dwell in regret, but to gain clarity. You begin to understand the value of your time, your energy, and your emotional availability. When you're no longer trying to keep someone else happy, expectat. You finally have the space to ask yourself what truly matters to you in a relationship and what you're no longer willing to accept just to avoid being alone. Expect. Setting higher standards doesn't mean building a wall so high that no can reach you. It means refusing to lower the bar out of fear, insecurity, or loneliness. It's about identifying your non-negotiable qualities you feel respected, safe, valued, and understood. Maybe in your last relationship, your needs were always put second, or your boundaries were constantly tested. Now is the time to honor those experiences by using them as guides. They taught you not to ignore the next time. This is not about seeking perfection in a person. It's about choosing alignment over attractions, substance as over spark, consistency over promises. Relationships built on mutual respect and knowings and emotional maturity last longer than the ones fueled by chemistry alone, often expects. Take what you've learned from your past and use it to filter who you give your heart to in the future. When your standards are rooted in self-respect, you naturally start attracting people who rise to meet them instead of expecting you to settle for less. You don't have to rush to meet someone new just to prove moved on. The goal isn't to replace the person you lost, but to evolve into someone who would never choose the same dynamic again. As you raise your standards, will often expects that you're not pushing love away, you're making space for a deeper, healthier kind of love to find its way to you. And even before that love arrives, the person you become in the process is already the reward. Falling in love with your own life is the final and most empowering stage of healing after a breakup. Often expects that. It's about turning inward and realizing that your happiness was never meant to be dependent on another person. When you begin to find joy in your day routines, pride in your progress, and excitement for your own goals, you stop searching for someone else to complete you. You begin to see that you were always whole, you just forgot it for a while. This shift doesn't happen all at once, but with each step you start to feel more like yourself again. Take time to build a life that feels meaningful to you, one that reflects your values, passions, and dreams. This could mean setting new goals, traveling to new places, spending more time in nature, exploring creative outlets, arts, or simply learning to enjoy your own company. When your life is full of things that light you up, being alone doesn't feel empty, feels peaceful. You begin to wake up with purpose, not longing. You start focusing less on who's missing and more on what's possible. The most attractive people are not the ones constantly chasing love or trying to prove their worth. They are the ones who are content, grounded, and in love with their journey. This energy is magnetic not just to others, but to new opportunities, meaningful connections, and a deeper sense of self-respect. When you show the world that your life is rich and fulfilling on its own, you're attracting relationships based on need and start inviting those built on genuine connection and shared growth. Ultimately, the goal isn't to move on just so you can find someone else. The real victory is when you can sit with yourself and feel proud of who you are, how far you've come, and where you're headed. Love, when it comes again, should be a beautiful addition to an already full life, not the reason for it. By falling in love with your own life, you don't just heal, you thrive. And in doing so, you become someone who no longer needs love to feel complete, but is deeply ready for when it arrives.